It's a film that will literally set your soul on fire. Guys, back on the cinema scale, and man, it is good to say those words again. We're taking a first look at the dramatic movie Soul on Fire. The film is directed by Sean McNamara and stars Joel Courtney as the main character, John Corbett as his father, and William H. Macy as a sports announcer who has a good Samaritan complex. The film focuses on the life of John O'Leary, an elementary school boy that sets himself and his house on fire in a horrifying accident. Throughout the story, we see his struggle to live and overcome feelings of despondency at different parts or moments of his life regarding this tragedy. Joel Courtney plays John O'Leary as a charming, boyish, insecure, post-traumatic type of individual. Throughout the story, we learn details about his life that will leave you with an emotional build toward his character. Now, the film takes place in the parallel of his past and in his present. And as the movie progresses, you're able to twist those two timelines together so that you can create a future timeline. I thought his father, as John Corbett, he was amazing father. He was caring, he was wise, he was an available father, he was an active father in his son's life, and he was vital to his emotional stamina and not giving up in this particular movie. When you see him on screen, you just want to give him a hug, you just want to love him, you just want to cherish him, and I love that aspect of him, well casted as the father. Now, most of you will understand or know or identify William H. Macy from the Netflix series Shameless. But there was nothing shameless about his performance in this movie. He plays a sports announcer / mentor, helping John to progress on that road of tragic recovery and how to refine and redefine his life and his decisions. He is the hope element of this story, and he really brings that emotional presence to the screen. It was so nice to see him there. He was quite up in age in this particular movie, so you already have a sense of emotional connection with this character as things are progressing even throughout the story. I thought the film was dramatic, it was inspiring, it was motivating. It was a film that allows you to self-reflect on your life and your choices. It's a story of survival. Also a family movie, and it really targets families dealing with hardships. If you are an individual whom are dealing with a trauma from your past, something that you feel as though you're responsible for. Maybe it's you set your house on fire. Maybe it's you accidentally totaled your parents' car. Maybe it's you got into a certain issue with your family and it caused them some devastation. This movie will appeal to you and will move you to action simply because it builds on the concept that although we've made poor choices in life, we can overcome them if we embrace the future and the reality at present. If you're a parent whom has a child that's been affected by a tragedy of this magnitude and is carrying that weight with them for many years upon years, this movie will grab you emotionally. It will wrap its arms around you. It will hug you from the screen and even in some elements move you to tears. There's a nice balance between the dramatic elements of this movie and the comedic presence of this movie, and I thought that was phenomenally well executed. Now, there are some poor elements of CGI in this movie, but it's not distracting enough for you to lose that emotional momentum and that emotional value. It's inspiring overall, and it's motivating. Now, one of the questions I wanted to identify is, will children be afraid of this movie? Well, there are some very intense scenes in John's life in which he is trying to recover from this accident. So there are some moments in this movie where you might want to be cautious in some of the scenes regarding his body, how it looks after the accident, and his recovery in the hospital. You might want to be careful as a parent and use some discernment. There were some powerful quotes in here that really carried the movie's story and plot. For example, the movie is based on a true story and is also based on the book on Fire, written by John O'Leary himself. But there were some standout quotes that I just have to mention here. One of the things that his father says to him in the movie is that you can't always let me not mess this one up. He says in the movie, you can't always choose the path you walk, but you can choose how you walk it. I thought that was a profound way to sum up the entire element of this movie. And that was about an hour and 10 minutes into the film when you get that beautiful wisdom. There was a nice soundtrack. There were a lot of songs that were really identifiable. There was just a nice, smooth soundtrack because the movie takes place in the early 90s. It takes place in the 90s, making its way up to the 2000s onward. There was another quote that I really loved that John O'Leary himself said in his learnings in life. The most powerful weapon on earth is the human soul on fire. Powerful quotes that just bring this entire movie together. Now, after you're in the theater crying after this movie, you're going to want to hang around for the post-credit scenes. The post-credit scenes deal with the actual family from this true story. This tragic story turned into a hope encourager. All of the persons that were portrayed in the film were cast so beautifully. When I saw those after photos, I was like, wait a second. Were these the actual relatives playing their roles in the movie? The casting was just flawless in this movie, and that made it all the more enjoyable. There are some emotional clips as well after the film of John moving forward with his life. There are some monumental things that he does after his circumstance. So that will really be the icing on the cake to bring this movie all together. So guys, that was Soul on Fire on the Cinema Scale. Let me know down in the comment box how you felt about this movie, and if you had a tragic accident that you went through that you were able to turn into an inspirational story of hope, love, and endurance. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and if you love this video and want to see more, please click the next video.